Knock knock, who's there? Uh-oh, don't open the door. Today we're exploring some truly unsettling encounters that will make you double check your front door at night. From mysterious doorbell lickers to hot air balloon crashes in your front yard, these incidents captured on doorbell cameras are the kind of weirdness you won't believe until you see it. Get ready to meet strange visitors, bizarre criminals, and even a guy with a TV for a head. Yeah, what's he up to? Buckle up, here are the scary doorbell camera moments that'll make your skin crawl. This one's short and sweet, and a lot of licking. Not much to explain to do here. Back in 2019, a man was caught on surveillance approaching a home in a neighborhood in Salinas, California. He doesn't say much, he just shows up and, well, as the title hints towards, he starts licking the doorbell. Not the camera, but the actual doorbell. He must have rang the bell hundreds of times with that little tongue. And he does this for 3 hours straight. The homeowner said in the following interview after seeing the footage, and I quote, "Oh boy, that is just weird." Yeah, oh boy indeed. I'm getting a doorbell camera tomorrow. It's one thing to see a guy licking a doorbell or a person sniffing or doing anything weird outside, but sometimes you catch bizarre, once-in-a-lifetime incidents. Like this, for example. My brother Kyle has night terrors, okay? I've seen it my whole life. This man would get up in the middle of the night and start doing dishes while yelling. I don't know, I truly feel bad for sleepwalkers, okay? I get it. Not as much as my brother, but I get it. This story comes from a Reddit user called Raging Ball of Fury. Again, great name. They say, quote, "My little brother is a sleepwalker. We'd gotten an alert and said that he had snuck out of the house while he was still asleep, and my sister said that she heard someone talking just outside of the door. I went to look and saw my brother sitting on the porch, apparently having a conversation with our grandfather despite being alone. She says that he was saying, 'I love you and I'm going to miss you.' My dad got him back into the house without waking him up, all is good, nobody gave it much thought. Until a couple hours later, my uncle called us telling us that my grandfather had recently passed away in his sleep. So my little brother says he doesn't remember anything at all, but we got it on video. We can't hear what he's saying too clearly, but he was definitely talking to somebody, and he sure as heck said, 'I'm going to miss you,' at least twice. That's touching. I had to throw in a nicer one before we get all creepy again. Stepping away from the worst of the worst, let's shine the spotlight on some weird happenings. Like for example, a guy wearing a TV on his head. Yeah, what's he up to out there? I remember seeing this a few years ago on the news back in 2019. This man would appear randomly in Virginia, and he visited more than 50 residents. He would show up with, as I said, a TV as a head. And as if that wasn't already weird enough, he would then leave an old TV on your doorstep. Yeah, his son. Here you go. You're gonna take care of him now. Enjoy. They're all old TVs, by the way, not flat screens, so they're really big and heavy and annoying to move. Also, this is so creepy. Why are you doing this? Many believe this man was inspired by the comic book series Saga, because in that there's a race of TV head aliens, so this could be a fan of Prince Robot IV, or somebody who's deeply troubled and loves TVs. One of the two. Either way, this is pretty annoying. Imagine an elderly couple having to figure out this situation now on a Sunday morning. So inconsiderate. This horrifying encounter took place at around 2 p.m. in broad daylight. Two men attempted to kick the front door down and break into a home in Oakland, California. Now, one man came and rang the bell, and the person who was at home at the time was wearing headphones listening to music, so luckily they didn't hear the doorbell ring and they didn't open it. The man then came back again with a partner shortly after, and they tried ringing again, and then after getting no response, he attempted to kick the door down. The person who was at home yelled, and the attackers thankfully fled the scene. My advice, don't say anything, just call the police and hide in a closet somewhere. Home Alone style, just go away, just hide in the basement. Number 6, Matt doesn't live here. This one, I need help. There's a backstory and I need to find it, okay? Back in 2016, in the middle of an August summer night, this man approaches, topless, always a great sign, and he slowly approaches and he's looking back at somebody off camera. He has the "I'm about to ring the doorbell and run away" vibe, right? He's got that look to him. I know that look, I've been there myself. But instead of knocking and running away, he pretends to knock, he knocks the air, and then pretends to ask somebody if Matt is home.
Matt, okay. Sorry about that.
He does it so the other person can see him. Now, I don't know if this was a dare or some sort of weird attempted break-in. We can't decipher it yet, but either way, it's so creepy. What are your thoughts? Was he trying to break in, or was he trying to make his friend think that he was going through with a prank without actually having to disturb the peace? Comment down below all your theories. Number 5, a grim warning. This one comes from username rightmind2723. Great name. Let's find out why you got that right mind. They say we had a series of break-ins in our neighborhood when doorbell cameras were first coming out. So we got one because my husband often worked late and I would be home alone with the kids. Great idea. Starting to understand why your username is that. Right mind indeed. So they were new. Most people didn't know that it was a camera, and that's where things get crazy. One night my phone pinged that there was movement outside, so I pulled it up and it was two guys talking about if they should try to go back to get into the house. I was on the line with 911 so fast, and the cops arrived even faster. The cops eventually caught them both, and it turned out these were the two men responsible for all the other break-ins in that area. Neighbors, they didn't realize that there was somebody home that day. So after this point, the neighbors all got a Ring doorbell camera. Yeah, as they should. And you should also get 7% of the profits because you just saved everyone a lot of money in break-ins. Good work, right mind. Number 4, the bare necessities. Now, it's one thing for a person to try and enter your home out of the blue, but when an animal does it, it can be a lot harder to handle. Like say a bear, for example. Can't really call the cops on a bear. I don't think they're gonna listen to that guy. This doorbell recording is pretty badass. It's a couple years old and it's straight out of Daytona Beach, Florida. A man was chilling on his porch with his puppies and a bear just appeared, which is the last thing you want to see when you're hanging out with a couple of pups. After growling and pushing the bear back himself, the man quickly used a bench to block the bear from coming back onto the porch. Honestly, it's a good thing you had that bench because it would have been game over otherwise. All is going well when a random hot air balloon just crashes down in front of your yard. Imagine that. First of all, how do you even steer a hot air balloon? Hot air balloons are terrifying. That's like something from the 1920s. Can we get rid of them? We don't need those anymore. Hop in this wicker basket and we'll see what happens. See where you end up, which yard you end up. Who knows? Have you ever rode in a hot air balloon? Is it romantic? Is it terrifying? Where did you end up? In someone's front yard? Comment down below. We're both afraid of heights here, so a hot air balloon date is probably our collective demise. Number 2, not the cops. This is a hard one. If I saw this one outside of my front door, I would have probably opened it up. I would have been a victim 100%. This is why doorbell cameras with audio are vital. Pay attention. This comes from an anonymous source. I mean, clearly, that's obvious here. They say, quote, I have a camera doorbell. The creepiest thing I ever saw was the night that I had 2 cops come to my door. They stood outside the door talking to each other about if I was home or not and who would have first. Yeah, that's just what you want to hear on your cam. I was at home at the time and my dog alerted me by whining at the door. So I checked the cam, saw them, and listened to them talking for about 10 seconds before I decided to call the real 911. The operator told me they didn't have any cops in that area at the time and to stay away from the door, and to put at least one more locked door between me and them, and to stay on the line and to be quiet until the real cops could get there. Great instructions. I live around a block from the fire department, so it was less than 2 minutes later when a fire truck pulled up and these 2 fake cops ran off. That's so scary. The amount of videos that I've seen online where people pretend to be police officers, it's terrifying. It's a huge problem. Unless you call them, pretend like you aren't home. Unless you're a criminal, then for sure come out. It's over, Buster, right? We found you. Otherwise, just lay low, hide, call the cops, and just shiver and be scared for a bit. That's all you gotta do at that point. And finally, number 1, not hired help. This one's very controversial in the comments, so I need to know where you all stand on this one. We'll finish it off on a weird note. This footage is from 2017, and the description of the video says, a suspicious man walks to my door and has no clear answers to my question and then leaves. Alright, sounds kind of weird at first, but take a look. I read the comments, I took a look at the video, let's talk shop. Half of the comments are upset. They're defending this man outside, saying that clearly it sounds like he was part of the crew that laid the tile outside of the homeowner's door. It must have been a long time ago, and if you're not the original homeowner, maybe this guy's mixing you up with someone that he used to work for. Somebody also commented that he noticed a package at the front door, yet he didn't steal it. That's also a big clue. Others think that he's trying to get more work done. My take on this, if you don't know who's at your door, you don't have to get it. Enough said. The person in the recording was talking to the man and they told him that they weren't going to be home for another 20 minutes because they were still in a meeting. Don't do that. Never tell anybody that you're not home, no matter who's outside. Stay safe, okay? I'm Taylor McWaters. Don't lick my doorbell, and we'll see you next time on Bumblebee. See you later. Thanks for watching.